Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News here on TV1. I am Disal Kapuge for News First, where we are and always will be with the people. Before we take a look at the stories in detail, let's first cross over to the headlines.
Dinesh Shafta's body exhumed and moved to Karapitiya for further investigation. Woman in Panadura dies during police arrest. Sajith questions Parliament on failure to implement President's decisions. Sri Lanka ranks 11th in the Hanki's 2022 Annual Misery Index. President meets Japanese Prime Minister for talks in Tokyo. Health sector warns that the spread of dengue in the Gampaha district would reach alarming levels.
And now in your top story, the remains of late Dinesh Shafta were exhumed at the Burrell Public Cemetery today morning. The remains were exhumed based on the request made to the court by the committee of medical experts appointed to investigate the death of the late businessman.
The remains of the late Dinesh Shafta were exhumed at the Burrell Public Cemetery on Thursday morning with police protection and under the supervision of Colombo Additional Magistrate Rajendra Jayasuriya. The family and relatives of the late Dinesh Shafta were present during the exhumation process. On the 15th of December 2022, Dinesh Shafta was found with his hand tied and strangled inside his own car at the public cemetery in Burrell, and according to the family, he died that night in hospital. Investigations into the death of Dinesh Shafta are conducted by the Homicide and Organised Crimes Division of the Criminal Investigations Department.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa questioned Parliament as to why the directives given by the President to appoint Dr. Harsha De Silva to the post of Chairman of COPA are not being implemented.
The issue with regard to the post of Chairman of the Committee on Public Accounts has not been solved. The matter is being delayed with the unethical appointments of pro-term Chairman. The President had inquired about this and held talks with MPs Kabir Hashim and Dr. Harsha De Silva and made it clear that the ruling faction is in agreement to appoint Harsha De Silva as the chairman. We were hoping that the directive by the Executive President would be implemented at the selection committee. It was not implemented on Wednesday. I would like to know if there are any issues within the government as they fail to implement the directives of the President. What is the issue they have with appointing Harsha De Silva?
ඉෂ්ට නොකරන්නට මොකද මෙච්චර මේ හර්ෂට සිල්වව පත් කරන්න තියෙන අමාරුව ඔබතුමා කිව්වා වගේ ජන
As you said, the President is in agreement over the matter. We have no issue with Dr. Harsha De Silva. However, the ruling party MPs had concerns with his conduct. The responsibility lies with the committee and not with the government or the opposition. Since the President has given his agreement, the MPs have decided to discuss the matter with him and proceed with this based on an agreement. The committee must decide on that matter. The President is a single person representing a separate party and he always emphasizes on that. The government operates in a different manner. If we do not reach an agreement, this will worsen.
වෙන එකකතාවයන් එක්ක අපේ කමිටුව තීන්දුව කරන්න ඕනේ. මොකද ජනාධිපතිතුමා වෙන පක්ෂයක නියෝජනය කරන තනි කෙනෙක් එතුමා හැමතිස්සෙම කියනවා. මෙතන ආණ්ඩුවක් ගෙනියන්නේ වෙනම විදියකට. එතකොට අපි එකකතාවයකට ආවේ නැත්නම් මේක තවත් අර්බුදයට ඉස්සරහට යනවා. ආණ්ඩු පක්ෂය.
The Chief Government Whip says the MPs are against it. There is no such thing in the standing orders. Where does it say that a chairman cannot be appointed when the MPs are not in agreement? We discussed the standing orders. It refers to a majority agreement. For that, we need to reach an agreement. You agreed to that in the meeting. The argument of the Chief Government Whip was that ruling party MPs were not in favor of Dr. Harsha De Silva. There is no such thing in the standing orders. You are well aware of how the Committee on Public Accounts functioned and how it is functioning now. Harsha De Silva, with external agencies without burdening the people, conducted workshops for all 225 MPs to discuss and debate, and most importantly, to understand what many were not even aware of, what has happened during the past few weeks. This is called intellectual jealousy or knowledge jealousy. This is why this country is bankrupt. A person who wants to do something good is not allowed to do that, and various others are being used to pass financial regulations. I wish to ask this from the Prime Minister. Can't you implement the agreement that was reached by the President after holding talks with you and Susil Premadasa and Kabir Hashim and Dr. Harsha De Silva?
මෙයාට කරන්න දෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. කරන්නෙත් නැහැ. එක එක කේවට්ට යොදාගෙන එක එක මේ මුදල් රෙගුලාසි අනුමත කරගන්නවා. මං අහන්න කැමති එක දෙයක්. ගරු අගමැතිතුමාගෙන් ජනාධිපතිවරයා ඔබතුමාටත් සුසිල් ප්‍රේමචන්ද්‍ර මැතිතුමාටත් දෙන්නලා කබීර් හෂිම් මැතිතුමායි හර්ෂ ඩිසිල්වා මැතිතුමායි එක්ක සාකච්ඡා කරලා ඒ ආපු එකඟතාවය ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නට ඔබතුමන්ලට බැරිද?
According to Hankey's annual misery index of 2022, Sri Lanka is the 11th miserable country in the world. The survey was conducted by the Professor Steve Hankey of the Johns Hopkins University using information from 157 countries. In 2021, Sri Lanka occupied the 58th position in the Hankey's annual misery index. The high cost of living in Sri Lanka during the recent past has been the main factor that has led Sri Lanka to reach the 11th place in the list. According to the report, Zimbabwe is considered to be the country with the worst economic pressure. Venezuela and Syria are in second and third place respectively. Now moving on with the news, Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe held bilateral talks with Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida in Japan on Thursday the 25th. President Wickremesinghe expressed his appreciation over the support extended by Japan to Sri Lanka in recovering from the economic crisis. Earlier, President Ranil Wickremesinghe met former Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga as well. The President outlined the economic recovery in the country and invited Japanese investment to return to the country. Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe has highlighted three major challenges facing Asia in his address at the Nikkei Forum on the future of Asia in Tokyo. Wickremesinghe said democratic values and human rights, climate change and trade integration are key challenges. The President also emphasized the importance of respecting the diverse political systems and definitions of human rights across Asian countries. The Samagijana Balawegaya said disciplinary action will be instituted against Vadivel Suresh, who supported the government resolution to remove Janaka Ratnayaka from the post of chairman and member of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka. SJB General Secretary Ranjit Madhuma Bandara said the matter will be discussed on Thursday the 25th. Now moving on with more news, a group of representatives of several entrepreneurial associations were summoned into Parliament today. And now moving on with the news, the registration of Dansals for the Poson Full Poya celebrations has commenced. According to the Vice Chairman of the Public Health Inspectors Union, KAP Burrell, operations to observe Dansal organizing activities have commenced as well. Now in more news, the Gampaha District Secretariat warned that the spread of dengue in the Gampaha district could reach alarming levels in the next few months. The National Dengue Control Unit said the highest number of dengue cases are reported from the Gampaha district. A dengue control program was held in Kolpeti with the participation of personnel from the Colombo Municipal Council, Sri Lanka Police, Sri Lanka Navy and other government agencies. Now back to one of the stories we previously mentioned. The Samagijana Balawegaya said disciplinary action will be instituted against Vadivel Suresh, who supported the government resolution to remove Janaka Ratnayaka from the post of chairman and member of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka. SJB General Secretary Ranjit Madhuma Bandara said the matter will be discussed on Thursday the 25th.
The resolution to remove Janaka Ratnayaka from the post of chairman and member of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka was passed in Parliament on Wednesday. Samagijana Balawegaya Badula District MP Vadivel Suresh supported the resolution with the government. The SJB General Secretary said the MP's decision to vote violated the decision taken by the party. State Finance Minister Shehan Semasinghe said that a new chairman to the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka will be appointed after the President returns to the country. He said the appointment needs to be approved by the Constitutional Council. The Constitutional Council will meet on the 5th of June. The Electricity Users Association convened a media briefing.
දැන් ඊයේ දිනේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා මහජන උපයෝගිතා කොමිෂන් සභාවේ සභාපති ඉවත් කරා. දැන් ඔහුව නම් කරේ ඔහු දේශපාලන පුද්ගලයෙක් හැටියට. ඒකට ඒ වගේම
On Wednesday, the chairman of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka was removed. He was branded as a political appointee. He told the media that he can now freely engage in politics. We call on the minister to appoint an independent chairman. If an independent chairman is appointed, that person must prepare the cost of the actual figures and provide relief to the people. As an association, we will support that person. However, actual cost needs to be taken into account. We do not want a chairman who would simply agree with the figures presented by the CEB. If that happens, we will take action.
එහෙම වුණොත් අපි ඔබතුමාට විරුද්ධව කටයුතු කරන්න සූදානම් කියන එක දැම්ම කියනවා.
And now drawing your attention back to one of the stories that we previously mentioned, a group of representatives of several entrepreneurial associations were summoned to Parliament today.
Representatives of several associations, including Sri Lanka United Businesses Alliance, Sri Lanka National Construction Association and Sri Lanka Vehicle Importers Association, were summoned to Parliament today. We are facing many issues at present due to economic coercion as entrepreneurs. Bank interest rates have increased from 9 to 36%. The joint opposition invited us to pass legislation for us. Save entrepreneurs, save the backbone of this country.
අද අපි වෙනුවෙන් ලෙජිස්ලේෂන් එකක් නිකුත් කරනවා මේ ව්‍යවසායකයෝ බේරලා දෙන්න රටේ කොඳුනාරටිය බේරලා දෙන්න
මේ දේශපාලනය තුලින් රටේ ආර්ථික
Politics is destroying the country's economy. They don't think of us or the small and medium scale entrepreneurs that take the economy forward. They are not aware of the issues that have arisen when the economy shrinks. If a business shuts down, there is no opportunity for a business to operate.
කිසිම අවස්ථාවක් නැහැ ව්‍යාපාරයක් නැවත පටන් ගන්න.
News first with the people.
The registration of dansals for the Poson Full Moon Poya Day celebrations have commenced. According to the Vice Chairman of the Public Health Inspectors Union, KAP Burrell, operations to observe dansals organizing activities have commenced as well.
By the end of April 2023, Sri Lanka had fulfilled 25% of its trackable commitments under the IMF program. Two critical commitments, however, remain unfulfilled. According to publicfinance.lk, there appears to be three major issues affecting the progress of this commitment. Firstly, there is a significant lack of information available. Specifically, as of the end of March, the progress status of 10% of the identified commitments was marked as unknown on the tracker due to insufficient information being available for assessment. Sri Lanka has fallen short on two commitments that were expected to be fulfilled by April 2023. The first of these is related to the increase in betting and gaming levies. The amendment to increase the levies were made public on the 4th of April 2023. However, the amendment is yet to be debated in Parliament, indicating a delay in the process. The second failed commitment pertains to gaining parliamentary approval on the Central Bank Bill. Like the Betting and Gaming Amendment Bill, this bill was also made public on the 7th of March 2023, but is yet to be debated and approved by Parliament. Sri Lanka has partly met one of its governance commitments on establishing an online transparency platform, which was due on the 31st of March.
Now we were talking about the IMF progress in Sri Lanka. Now Sri Lanka has apparently fulfilled 25% of its trackable commitment under the IMF program. And those were the facts that we just presented you. Now moving on with the news. Sri Lanka is expecting foreign direct investment inflows to rise by a fifth to $1.3 billion this year. A government officer told Reuters, with India likely to play a leading role despite the Sri Lankan economy, the situation rather, the Sri Lankan economy is facing its worst crisis in decades.
Reuters, quoting the Board of Investment, said that although it was pushed to the brink last year by power cuts, chronic shortages of fuel and food and soaring inflation, Sri Lanka managed to raise its FDI by 38% to $1.08 billion. Part of the bump came from India, which wants to keep China's expansion in its neighbour in check. India's Adani Group signed up for 2 wind power plants worth $442 million last year. The BOI Director General said in the first quarter, Sri Lanka has already received proposals worth $600 million with 22 new projects and 6 expansions. Sri Lanka is banking on information technology, solar and wind bunkering and mineral processing to attract investments. India's MCS Group has signed a $20 million deal for mineral processing, the largest Sri Lanka has received so far in 2023. BOI Director General told Reuters that Japan is very interested in minerals, as so is China, adding that raw material is something Sri Lanka can really pitch to get new investments. Sri Lanka has untapped deposits of graphite, phosphate and other minerals to attract investors, but policy frameworks are yet to be updated, creating a bottleneck for FDI.
Pakistan's Jinnah Scholarship Award ceremony was held at the BMICH on Wednesday.
The High Commission of Pakistan is holding Jinnah Scholarship Ceremony 2023 to award bright Sri Lankan students.
More than 2,400 bright Sri Lankan students have availed this scholarship as of today. Jinnah Scholarship is a testament to the strong bond between Pakistan and Sri Lanka, and it reflects our commitment to enhancing the capabilities of youth and with better educational opportunities. Pakistan also provides 500 to 600 training opportunities annually to the Sri Lankan Armed Forces on gratis basis in various training institutions of Pakistan, which in my view is also comes under the education program. The efforts in place to establish the cultural center, as already mentioned, in order to harness and improve the Pakistan-Sri Lankan cultural exchanges. All the efforts that I have mentioned here has only one intent: to bring the youth of the two countries closer for a better regional cooperation tomorrow. This year, 131 Sri Lankan students of A level have been selected for the Jinnah Scholarship, who represent the complete island today.
Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs Viduru Vikramanayaka and Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, also participated in the event.
Education is a right, not a privilege. But in this sphere of the world, it is still a privilege. Any government, for that matter, is bound to provide the students the best that they can. I am greatly indebted, Your Excellency, what you are doing for the betterment of our children, to have a better future for them. If they have a better future, that means our country will have a better future.
The launch of the Hungary Higher Education by the Ronan Group was held in Colombo on Wednesday.
The Ronan Group represents 25 higher education institutions in Hungary, ranging from minor universities of applied sciences to top research universities. The event was held to promote higher education in Hungary for Sri Lankan students. Higher education studies are offered at two types of higher education institutions, university and college. Both of them may offer courses in all three training cycles: bachelor course, master course and doctoral course.
Organized this to help the Sri Lankan students to have more access to the European university systems, and also in keeping with the wishes of the Sri Lanka government, try to have foreign universities doing full-time and part-time study courses in Sri Lanka, and I'm here to help Sri Lanka to achieve this goal as much as I can. I have convinced many Hungarian universities, for whom I'm the representative, to come to Sri Lanka and explore the possibilities of having their education systems in Sri Lanka, partly or fully, and also we are going to establish a cyber security division for Sri Lankan bankers, mobile operators, and other telecom authorities, including police, navy, army, so they can go to the highest level of cyber security, which Hungary is very famous for. I want to bring Sri Lanka to a higher level of technology.
Chairman of the Ronan Group, KFT, said he aims to facilitate students from other Asian countries to follow a few years of study in Sri Lanka and to complete their studies in Hungary. Representatives from several Hungarian universities were also present at the event.
A woman from Panadura had died during the course of arrest by Sri Lanka police on Thursday, the 25th morning. Police spokesperson SSP Nihal Taldua told News First that the Panadura Range Crimes Division is conducting an investigation into the incident. Officers attached to the Panadura North Police had visited the residence of the 52-year-old woman in question located in Diggala, Panadura in order to ascertain information over illegal liquor peddling. The police officers had later arrested her and decided to take her to the police station. However, the family of the woman claimed they urged the police not to take her, citing that she was ill and was a patient at the Panadura hospital. The family said the Sri Lanka police disregarded these claims and that the woman stressed that she was not feeling well when she was getting into a three-wheeler. The family also claimed that the police officers refused to take her to a hospital and they had to call for a vehicle to take her to the hospital. However, upon admission, the woman had passed away and the remains were placed at the Panadura Base Hospital for the post-mortem examination. Sri Lanka police said the woman had fallen ill while being moved to the police station and she was arrested for the possession of illegal liquor. Police also said that the family was advised to hospitalize the woman and she died upon admission to the hospital. According to the founder of the Wagner Group, some 20,000 troops from Russia's Wagner mercenary group were killed in the months-long battle for control of Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine.
Russia's Wagner mercenary group said they had recruited about 50,000 prisoners to fight with Wagner in Russia's war in Ukraine and that about 20% of them have been killed. The head of Russia's Wagner mercenary group told a Russian political strategist in a video interview posted on his Telegram channel on Wednesday that a similar number of his contract soldiers had also perished in the battle for the city. This weekend, Wagner and the Russian military claimed to have taken control of Bakhmut, which has been left in ruins by the prolonged fighting, with Russian President Vladimir Putin congratulating the armed forces. But Kyiv has said its forces continue to fight for the city.
Simply the best. Tina Turner, the American-born singer who left a farming community to become one of the top recording artists of all time, has died at the age of 83. The Golden Gala Pietro Mene edition, which will illuminate the Ridolfi Stadium in Florence on Friday the 2nd of June for the third leg of the Wanda Diamond League. 15 Olympic champions and 31 world champions, including Sri Lanka's sprint sensation Yupun Abekon, will form the exceptional cast for an unforgettable athletics evening.
Thank you very much.
Session or sprinting sensation rather, Yupun Abekon clocked 10.01 seconds to come in second in the 100-meter sprint at the Savona International Meeting in Italy on Wednesday the 24th. Earlier, Yupun was able to come in second in the heats of his first 100-meter race for the year with a timing of 10.04 seconds, which is plus 2.7 with wind at the Savona meeting. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Lunchtime News here on TV1. As always, thank you for watching. Stay safe, take care, and have a good afternoon.